Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of the Arsenal News Show. Every single day, 8 a.m. UK time. Make sure that you're making this part of your daily routine. You wake up, you have your breakfast, you have your juice of your choosing. You open your YouTube app, you click the Gooner Talk, you click the video, you watch it. Sorted. That's your mornings from now on. Understand? Are we clear? I'm going to go in teacher mode for a second. Hope you're good and well, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I enjoyed my Saturday. I was away at a festival enjoying the beautiful sounds of likes of Friction, Dimension, Self-Focus and Pendulum. It was a great day. I enjoyed it massively. You know, I also have found, and you can probably tell from the fact I'm not croaky like I was last week at the festival I went to, that you can go to a festival, enjoy the music without, because I drove, so I wasn't able to enjoy the liquid fortunes of of what can be provided at these events. And I've realised that you don't have to enjoy yourself. I don't know why it's taken me until I'm 26 to realise that, but it was a great day, and it built upon a really good feeling from the win the day before. But what I do want to say is, first of all, whilst I was there, I did see a very unfortunate video. And I want to send my absolute best to Harvey Elliott of Liverpool and wish him the speediest of recoveries, because if someone of that age to have that kind of injury that young is a real shame, because he is a amazing talent. So Harvey, we wish you all the best of the best and the quickest of recoveries. But that was the only downer, and I do think it is a downer. I don't like seeing players get seriously injured, despite them playing for other teams. So it was a good day overall, and there was some interesting news that's come out throughout the day, which we're going to discuss today in this morning's show. But we also must say a big thank you to everyone that did vote for us yesterday evening at 12 o'clock midnight, 11:59/59 seconds. It closed the vote for the Football Content Awards. So you won't hear me rabbiting on about asking you to vote for us. Thank you to everyone that did. Really appreciate everyone that showed the support during that period. And even if you didn't vote, thank you for tuning in anyway. No hard feelings, promise. Tonight, I'll be joined by Owen and Mike and French for our next podcast of the season. So do make sure you tune in. That'll be 7 p.m. UK time. So in 11 hours, as you can rejoin the channel. And we'll be having a good hour-long chat about the game. And then at 8 o'clock, I'll be jumping over to the Arsenal Lounge with Lev and Shaheen and Mo to discuss the game even more. So plenty of content for you guys to get stuck into. But as I say, thanks for tuning in. Please do drop a like a bit on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and turn on that notification button so you never miss a show. And you can join up as a member by clicking the link in the description, which tells you how to do it. And you can join our Discord server, which is 24/7 respectful chat like you see in our chat boxes 9 times out of 10. All day, every single day. It's a great group community and a bunch of people, and they will encourage you. I mean, members, chat box, tell them how good the Discord server is, because it's bloody great. Let's kick off though with the first story of the day. Now, if you haven't seen this already, you must be living under a rock. We talked about this on yesterday's show, and I was sitting there praying that they would release the video of this goal from Charlie Patino, and they have done. If you haven't already, go over to the Arsenal Academy Twitter page. Go watch the video of Charlie Patino's goal, skinning the lights of Phil Jones and Dean Henderson, who was in goal for Manchester United's under-23 side. Amazing strike from our little. I was going to say, he's not Spanish, is he? I think he has Spanish heritage, but he is. I'm pretty sure he is English. Amazing goal, and I cannot wait to see hopefully him playing in the Wimbledon game. I'll be gutted if he isn't selected for the Wimbledon League Cup game, because it'll be a massive missed opportunity if he is indeed not chosen. I think that we have absolutely all of the ability to choose him. Now, a lot of our players and coaches have been speaking in the wake of the game against Norwich. Tomiyasu took to Instagram, in which he said, "It was a special day for me. I was happy to play in front of amazing Arsenal supporters in the Emirates Stadium. Thank you for your big support. I'll keep on working to be better." And I think we can all agree that Tomiyasu looks to be a great addition to the squad, despite it just being one game. We're not going to get too carried away, but the profile, the style, everything about him is just what we've wanted and asked for from a player of that style and nature. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play against Burnley and what else he can bring to the team. Let's move on. to our next story, which Arsene Wenger has also been speaking in the wake of the Norwich game. He is he has kind of gone to explain the bad result that we had. He said the bad result we made was in the first game against Brentford. After that, it puts you straight away on the back foot. Oh no, should not have had cereal before I did this. I could feel it gradually creeping up my throat. I wish. Hold on. Oh Christ! 300 people watching and Tom's having a meltdown. I wish them to. No, I'm sorry. I'm losing my voice. Oh my days! I wish them to recover, and I think that they will. The potential is there, so I hope they come back. You know, guys, when you do live shows and you can feel something creeping up the back of your throat, it is important to have a drink of water with you at all times because you will start to fall apart. Oh, hopefully that's the end of that little coughing fit. Jesus. Right, let's move on to the next story. Thanks, Arsene. Ramsdale has been speaking specifically about him getting that number one position in the team. And he says, I don't know what the manager is going to do, the England international said via our colleagues over at the Mirror. This might have just been a tactical tweak, so it is my responsibility to force him to carry on picking me, which is something I have to do on a daily basis. Me and Bernd will be very competitive in a good, healthy way, and hopefully I can stay in the team. And to be honest, Ramsdale was just brilliant in the game. Like, he did everything that we've expected of him, everything that we've needed to see from him. The distribution was there, the calmness of taking the crosses was there. And for me, it's just a simple situation where he is a step up from Leno. He is giving us everything that we need that we didn't have from Leno, from his distribution, from his calmness. And we talked about this a little bit, I think, on yesterday's show. He just brings that confidence that the backline doesn't necessarily have. When you think about it, and I think I used this example yesterday, if you're a defender and you're under pressure and you're passing back to your keeper, and they're a keeper that's known not for having the best distribution skills, to be honest, it's going to put doubt in your mind. If you've got a goalkeeper that's really good with his feet, you're going to be confident to play the ball to him. And that's really important. We've recovered. But Leno, however, is being linked with a move to Inter Milan, who are said to be still very interested in the German goalkeeper. He is going to be in demand. Clubs are going to be looking at this as an opportunity to maybe get a cut price deal for Leno, not only because he has just over a year left on his contract, but specifically because he's now not in the first team thinking of Arsenal. That means they might be able to get him for a cheaper deal. He's a very good goalkeeper still. Don't take that away from him. But what we need to remember is that we need to make sure that we don't get mugged off with the price if we are going to move him on. I would be utterly shocked if Leno is still with us next season. It would only take a big injury to Ramsdale or something cataclysmic to happen to the England's internationals form for Leno to maintain that place. I don't think he's going to be staying at Arsenal for much longer, and I think that we'll probably be able to get a decent fee, fingers crossed, and then we can either invest in another young goalkeeper or, you know, bring in some short-term options. There's nothing wrong with Arsenal doing what a Man United or a Chelsea do, where they bring in the likes of Willy Caballero, these older, experienced keepers, to just be happy to sit there and be on the bench. And you know, Man United have done it this year with Tom Heaton. He's never going to get a look in, but they're just happy to be at a club the size of Man United and Arsenal. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't go and do something like that. I think that would be the perfect kind of move for Arsenal, to bring someone in cheaply, someone experienced that can play in the positions as a backup goalkeeper. You don't need another goalkeeper that's necessarily going to push your starting goalkeeper to always be there, because I think Ramsdale has got that. I think he's got that, like, you know, drive to do it himself without having that young understudy next to him. I think that's maybe what we should do. I think actually having a really experienced goalkeeper next to him could help him, if anything, too. So I'm not sure that there's any need to go and break the bank for another second goalkeeper. But I'm glad that we've got Ramsdale in. Now, Houssem Aouar has been speaking recently about his own future. And he said, I'm fully concentrated on Lyon. Playing in the Champions League again with my hometown club is an objective and a dream of mine. Now, the Liga table this season has seen Lyon kick off pretty mixed. 5 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. 8 points from their first possible 15, and they sit 7th in the table. Last season, they were able to finish in 4th place. I'm pretty sure that means they then finish in the Europa League places. And so I'm not sure even Lyon are part of the Champions League this season. I even looked at the Champions League group stage draw because I'm that uninterested, because Arsenal aren't involved in it, that it's, to be honest, I've got any need to do it. But I mean, the French teams in the Champions League this season obviously are PSG. Have Monaco qualified? I can't see them on this list. I don't see Monaco there. I'm assuming they didn't make it. And there should be another. Lille would be the other team, of course, wouldn't it? But I can't spot any other French teams. So I'm assuming that Lyon did, in fact, qualify for the Europa League, which is a really strange thing for him to say. Or did they even qualify for Europe? I don't think did they even get into Europe at all. So it's a strange thing that he said playing in the Champions League again with my hometown club is an objective and a dream of mine. Like, if he's looking to leave, which we're led to believe he is, why he would come out and say something really kind of not knowing is a bit strange. Monaco lost against Shakhtar in the qualifying rounds. Thanks, Jose. So there you go. Liga is going not downhill. I wouldn't want to say that, but their competitiveness in kind of the European stage is a concern because they've recently moved from, I think it's 4th league, best league in the world, or is it 5th to 6th or something like that? Because you've got Portugal that have now overtaken them in the coefficients. So it's a real shame because I have a lot of respect for the coaching and the youth development and what goes on in Liga, but it's concerning, very, very concerning indeed, and that will not help them moving forwards. But specifically on Aouar, interesting that he's talked about playing in the Champions League because he's not going to be this season. Maybe that's what he wants to do, and he wants to get forward with that and try and help them, qualify for the Champions League next season. But really, really odd comments from him, and he's just saying what he has to say, I suppose. Now, if you haven't already, link in the description to James McNicholas, aka Gunner Blog's article in the description, and Balaji, who is one of our members. Thank you for sending this over to me this morning. I read it, but I read it already, but it is an amazing piece worthy of sharing, and I'm glad you messaged me because I wasn't originally going to include it in the show, but then I realised, I should probably include this. It's a great piece by James McNicholas in The Athletic. Link to it, as I say, is in the description. This isn't an ad, by the way. I'm just highlighting some good piece of writing. Talking about the system that Mikel Arteta specifically wants to play and get more closer to that 4-3-3 style system of playing kind of that single number 6 with the 2 number 8s in front. For me anyway, I would be looking at playing Thomas Partey as not the number 6. I'd want to see Lokonga playing as the number 6, and I'd want to see Partey alongside, say, an Emile Smith-Rowe playing in the other number 8 position. I'm not sure that Ødegaard is the right player. I really do have some reservations about Ødegaard being that player, and I feel like Smith-Rowe is better. And if you're going to play one of those 2 10s in the wide areas, I think Smith-Rowe is better at that than Ødegaard. But Ødegaard has played at right wing and done it fairly well, so maybe it's something that we'll see moving forwards. But as I say, go give it a read. Really good piece into the hints that Arsenal could be moving towards a 4-3-3 next season. And that is the end of the news. Thank you ever so much, guys, for tuning in for that. We move on to the second part of the show, as always, which is our Q&A section. So if you've got any thoughts, theories, queries, questions, do throw them into the chat box, and we will try and go through as many as we can. Let's go to scrolling up. Jasha says, Tom, do you think Fraser Forster, who I think will be out of contract, would be the ideal candidate for a backup goalkeeper next season? It's not a bad shout. I believe, am I right in saying he's still at Southampton? Let's do a quick check. He is indeed still at Southampton, 33 years of age. His current contract runs out in 2022, so at the end of this season, and would be a free agent. Would he be a good choice? It's not a bad shout. I quite like that, Jashar. Yes, Fraser Forster, homegrown goalkeeper, could be available on a free. Why not move in for him as well. Social says they need to get rid of this stupid under-23 league. Kids shouldn't have to go out on loan in order to play against the men of the sport. It really holds players back. Social, if they get rid of the under-23 league, how are you ever going to see continuous development of players? If you get a situation where you look at Brentford, I think, have something like, is it a B team? I think they have that plays, but they don't have really an academy. They don't have this kind of constant stream of young players going through. Now, if every team was to adopt this style of youth development, it would really hamper the grassroots to professional football link and getting that players kind of coming through. So I don't necessarily agree with you. I think the under-23 league is important. I like the fact that they introduced the under-21s teams to the EFL trophy, which you often see Arsenal getting battered in, which they did not get battered, but they lost to Swindon 2-1. Charlie Patino scored in that game as well. But I think that's an improvement. I don't think it holds players back. I think that it means that you have a bigger youth squad. You then send players out on loan that you need to send out on loan. I mean, Arsenal this season have sent out a fair few players on loan to other teams. I mean, if we just go onto the website, go onto Academy and scroll down, I mean, Dejan Iliev, who is, I think, 26 now, has gone out somewhere. Juliose Tutu has gone. Daniel Ballard, of course, gone to Millwall. Miguel Aziz has gone. Matt Smith has gone. Harry Clark has gone. Nikolai Moller has gone. So there is a lot of players that have gone out on loan, and it's good. Like, we want to see these players going out on loan. Tyrese John-Jules has gone to Blackpool. I'm just looking through if there's any others that I've missed that I think have gone out. I think Dinzey has gone as well, out on loan too. So a lot of people have moved out on loan this season. So I don't think personally, Social, it is a bad thing, the under-23 league at all. Carl says, Tom, fancy doing a link watch, a monthly feature on the players who we reported to bid for or were seriously linked with in the last transfer window. Carl, it's not actually a bad idea. It's something that maybe I would consider doing maybe bi-monthly. Monthly is tricky because every month we do the loan updates. So I'm quite busy with that and work. So it's tricky to add another show. But Carl, it is a really good idea. So I will take it on board. Tom says, what experienced goalkeeper would you go for? Should we try and get a homegrown one or a free non-homegrown spots on the field of players? Yes, I think that's the right way to go. Look, if you can get an experienced free homegrown goal, I mean, you look at Spurs going and getting Joe Hart, and obviously we've seen other teams do it previously. Why not go for Fraser Forster as a backup? I think that's a really good shout from Jashar, actually. A really good idea. Si, thank you so much for tuning in again. Things are good, mate. Things are very, very good. Glenn, and thank you ever so much for your nice comment in the video yesterday. It's 3:16 a.m. in New York. I am dreaming. Did I dream you said Emil Smith Rowe is better than Erdegar? No, I said I'd rather see Smith Rowe play as kind of a deeper 8 than Erdegar is what I said, Glenn. Drew says, why not extend the contract of Karl Hein and keep him? I honestly have not seen enough of Karl Hein to have an opinion. But when we do our monthly youth football updates, which should be coming in the next week or so, we'll be able to ask Kev from Scouting Indoors, aka Next Generation Arsenal, to give us a lot of improvement in that area. We'll see what's going on. Hovik says, Tom, have you got a therapist yet? Arteta is going to win against Burnley and Spurs, and he will end up saving his job. Fingers crossed, Hovik. Fingers crossed. We want that to happen. Whatever you think of the manager, we want him to win these games because we want Arsenal to win. Samia says, Tom, do you think there is a stereotype when it comes to Xhaka among the fan base? We seem to always come back to his debates whether he will start 6th season in and a 21-year-old kid has outperformed him. Do I think there's a stereotype on Xhaka? Stereotype's a very strong word. I think that Xhaka can be used as a bit of a scapegoat sometimes, especially when he's had a better performance than people suggest. But I do think it's the right time it was the right time in the summer, I think, to probably move on from him. We didn't do that. It is what it is. He's a player in the squads. Look, to think that we've got a midfield of Lokonga and Partey is great. Xhaka as another option is fine for now, but I want to see better. I want to see someone more. Matt says, I'd be 100% in for Onana. You'd have 2 keepers to the club, therefore no real incumbent, which makes for a genuine competition. We'd get a net gain from selling Leno and another good goalkeeper. I understand the Onana side of things. It's just... if Onana comes in, you've just spent 24 million on a goalkeeper in Ramsdale. Onana is, why would he want to join Arsenal? He'd see Arsenal spend 24 mil on a keeper, and why would he sign? He's want to go somewhere where he's guaranteed to be the number one every single week. He's not going to want to come to necessarily Arsenal, and we don't have any European football right now. Is another thing to think about. Reggie says, can't you also have Erdegaard behind Pepe and Alba in a 4-3-3? I mean, that's more of a 4-3-1-2. But I understand what you're saying. You could do. I think I like the idea of playing Pepe closer to the striker, but I think we're moving more towards these wider positions, kind of being the main option for us, if you know what I mean. Dan says, will Turf Moor be a happy place? Hopefully it won't be. But I want it to be very happy. I want it to be absolutely miserable, because Arsenal stealing a victory from the clutches of Sean Dyche is always something to revel in. Hospitality this weekend? Yes. Yes, there won't be any shows. Actually, that's a lie. There won't be any. Well, actually, no, there will be a Raw reaction show, because I'm going on the train both days. But there'll be something. There'll be something, mate. Don't worry, I'll sort that out. I'm not thinking about the weekend at the moment, but I'm not able to watch the game because I'm away this weekend, which is, part and parcel of having a holiday. Vinny says, you had Niles as a negative versus Norwich. What do you think that he did wrong whilst playing centre mid in the game? Vinny, I felt like he tried too hard at times. I felt like his decision-making wasn't necessarily consistent enough. It's the thing for me about Maitland-Niles, I'm just not sure he is of the level required to be an Arsenal central midfielder. And the step up when Partey came in was very noticeable. There were times that Maitland-Niles would not see the right pass, or he would hold on to the ball for too long. Look, I'm just being critical and analytical at the end of the day. I'm not slamming the guy. I'm not saying he's an awful player. I think he's a decent player. I just think that he's not of the level that we need to be pushing forward in the midfield. That's just where my head's at, Vinny. Venkatesh says, Tom, why aren't we seeing the fitness and physical Arsenal players used to have abs popping through the Puma jersey? My point is the players are battered, even though we have the skill set to deal with that. Look, I think that it's something that maybe Arsenal need to improve, is the physicality of the side. We saw the transformation of Aziz. You look at Bayern Munich and what happens to some of their players like Leon Goretzka, Alphonso Davies, even when Philippe Coutinho was there. And you look at the muscle mass that they build up, because they become an incredibly imposing physical team, a scary side to play against. Arsenal need this. Like, we need something like this to add to that imposing intimidation that comes from having more physical players in the side. Aziz, I love the way he's worked on trying to build that into his game so he can improve and push towards a first team place. And maybe with this season at Portsmouth, we'll be interested to see how he gets on. But physicality is something that Arsenal kind of lacked. Competition for places in regards to kind of winning, and not just that, but winning games in the kind of tunnel, in eyeing up your opponents in the tunnel and facing them there. That's the situation. Mike says, pod replacement service may be required. Please remain on the platform and await announcements. Thank you, Mike. You're now my designated customer service person. Thanks for that. Daniel says, why did we buy a £50 million centre-back when he doesn't challenge in the air? Because he improves us massively defensively, still on the floor. He doesn't maybe improve us in the air. But, I mean, it's quite funny that you say that, because if you look at the picture that I've got for our podcast, if you go and look, wait, let me just click onto it. Tonight, as I say, 7 o'clock, Arsenal podcast, TG2 podcast. Look at the bottom left-hand image. Look how high up Ben White is challenging for that ball. I'm sorry, but the fact to say that he doesn't challenge in the air is wrong. He does challenge in the air. It's not his strongest part of his game. But I think if you watched that game against Norwich and thought that Ben White didn't make a difference to our backline, I think that you're probably watching it through blinkered sunglasses. You're not really being able to look for the positives in his game, and you're letting a predetermined opinion of the player affect how you judge him. So I really would be looking to watch him carefully, see how he does against Burnley, a very physical and aerially threatening side, and we'll see how he gets on. But to criticise him now, especially when we've not seen enough of him, I think is a bit premature. And with that, we're going to wrap things up. As I say, please do tune in tonight, 7 p.m. UK time, for the podcast. I'll be joined by Owen, Mike and French for the next hour or so at 7 till 8 to talk about things. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you guys as always. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here with those notifications turned on so you never miss a show. Continue to make these shows part of your morning routine every single day, 8 a.m. UK time. But other than that, I'll see you guys a little bit later this evening, and have a fantastic day. And as always, up the Arsenal. Don't forget that bit.